so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello, this is Linda Carbonell, and welcome to another edition of Walking Through Life. Today I'm very excited because I got a great guest, Gabriel Q, and Gabriel is here to talk about what's coming up on, when is it?
Halloween.
It's Halloween night.
It's not Halloween night, though. The Halloween parade, which in White River Junction is called Gory Daze.
Yes.
That'll be on the 28th, on the Saturday before Halloween.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen there. Mm-hmm. Where the event's going to start.
Yeah, the parade begins with a pre-party at the Main Street Museum on Main Street by the bridge. And there we have all kinds of silly traditional Halloween activities like donuts on strings, and we have a monster petting zoo.
Oh, I love the monster petting zoo.
Yeah, children love it. We put monsters in a little corral with straw, and the kids come and we tell them they can pet the monsters.
Yeah. And they're like life size, and they're
yeah. It's really cute. Their eyes are about this big.
Yeah, the candy corn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there'll be bands and other entertainment. And this year, the theme of our ball, we have a party after the parade at the Briggs Opera House, and the theme every year is some kind of ball, and this year it's the crystal ball. Ooh. Because I think we're all interested in knowing what the future holds for us.
Yeah.
So last year was the inaugural ball.
Oh.
And this year will be the crystal ball. And
so we're going to have there in costumes. And...
Yeah. People dress up in costumes, and it's very much about creative costuming more than commercial. I mean, we have everybody comes, and it's all kinds of different things, but the origins of it are more about creative costuming, do it yourself. This started out as a group of artists as White River Junction became more of an artist town. The Halloween parade was sort of a way of creating a celebration event in the street, and so that's kind of its origins. It's a family fun event, but it's also creativity emphasized.
I like that.
Yeah. And so with the crystal ball, we'll be having some readers, some psychic readers will be at the pre-party, and probably at the ball afterwards too. Mm-hmm. So if you've ever wanted to have a tarot card reading or a palm reading, those readers will be there at the pre-party. So I like to encourage people to come, not 3 minutes before the parade starts off, which is at 8. Yeah. The parade starts at 8.
Yeah, come early and experience everything that happens there. I think that that part of the event I absolutely love. I usually get there around 6:30 or so, and then go in, and they have the band, and then they have people dancing, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and people are going up and down the stairs of the museum and out into the backyard, and it's a time to sort of enjoy each other, because when the parade happens, you're walking and you're all facing the same way, and you're looking where you're going so you don't fall down. but at the pre-party, that's where everybody kind of gets the vibe together, and it's really fun.
It is a lot of fun. I wanted to say one thing. I know one of the years that I went, and I had asked you if I could stop and say something to you on camera or something, and I went looking for you and I couldn't find you, and all of a sudden this tall guy comes out and says, "Linda?" And I'm looking, I said, "Is that you, Gabe?" I said, "I didn't recognize you." And I think you have a way of having costumes where we can't recognize you.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm on stilts.
Yeah. That's what
so that changes things a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I got interested in making this event happen, I don't even know how long ago it was, 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Because I'm a performer and a puppeteer and a costumer. I've been going to Mardi Gras for my whole adult life, and have jobs there with my puppets. And so I wanted to bring that as a sort of a gift to the town and make some fun with it. It's what I have to offer.
Yeah.
So, for instance, this butterfly puppet, this is upside down, and when we have them in the parade, they're on big sticks high up in the air. They're flying in the air, and probably a lot of people in the Upper Valley have seen them.
Tall. Yeah. Oh, I mean, anywhere in White River you can see the butterflies come.
Yeah. And I can just flip the little switch and turn the light on.
It's good.
There it goes.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then for them to come down, and you're right about the costumes. I've seen some unique costumes. I think the first year I saw it and it kind of cracked up about it was the tub, the 3 men in the tub.
Oh, the bathtub, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I said, how original. And I remember going in that parade and actually thinking, what am I going to create, you know?
Yeah.
So I've always loved teddy bears. So I took a belt and I stuffed teddy bears all around me. It was so cool, you know? And then I want to say that you also inspired me to get to my creative side. I created a fairy garden, so, you know, for kids to enjoy. And I think that's something that you do with the parade and things like that. And it's just great. You inspire people when you do things like this. And
well, one of my favorite things about the Halloween parade is seeing who surprises us. You know, we have our network of people that are throwing the event and their network of friends, and we kind of know what's going to happen. But then the real thrill for me is when people surprise us and they bring their own giant puppets, and you know, we really like to see that happen, and it's a fun group activity for a circle of friends or people from work to come together. For several years there was a group of local gardeners who do the gardens around the Upper Valley, and they dressed in flower pot costumes, and they all came together, and they had a choreography that they'd practiced.
Wow.
And you know, those are the kind of things that we love to foster, where it's not us making this happen for an audience, but that everyone comes and they make it their own.
Yeah, because it's exciting to do that.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
And people dress their dogs up.
Yeah,
you know, if it's a dog that's like happy with crowds.
Yeah.
And you know, we get anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people.
Oh, easy, yeah.
It changes from year to year. You know, it's different, and you know, we decided long ago that we go rain or shine, because we were put in that position a couple times where it was pouring rain. One year we had a snowstorm. The butterflies had, by the time the parade was over, we had this much snow on the tops of the butterflies' wings. But it was beautiful, and all the costumes with the snow coming down, and people had brought laser flashlights, and they looked amazing in the snow because it caught all the snow. And yeah, it's a great time. And we have a Dixieland band that most of the players are from Louisiana, and they live in the Upper Valley. And they play for us, and so it really makes it like kind of a New Orleans second line dance. And
it does. It gives that feel. Now, I've never been to Mardi Gras, but I could definitely identify that with what I've seen for Mardi Gras. And I just love what comes out of that parade. It's just like, it's wonderful. The music, everything. But I wanted to ask, now when you leave the Main Street Museum to come up through town, what is the path you take so people would know where to stand?
Well, it changes sometimes, but this year we'll be going through the underpass under the railroad bridge, which is always fun because it's like terrifying. and then we get up to Main Street and we'll turn right and we head towards the Tip Top building. And then we take a left on Church Street and go past St. Anthony's. Then we take a left on Briggs. No, that's not Briggs.
Church Street. Oh, that's
I've only
Main
lived
Street.
here 20 years.
It's North Main Street, right?
No.
Or is it South Main Street? No? I'm thinking of a different road. Oh, wait a minute. You come down Church Street.
Well,
It's gotta be South
that
Main
street that goes
I'm pretty sure it's South Main Street.
No, it's not South Main Street,
It's
because
not?
we'll go by Northern Stage. We'll go by the new Northern Stage.
Okay.
And we
That's
go by
not
the
Church
we go
Street?
by the filling station.
Station, yes.
Where the filling station now has their own Halloween party.
Oh, nice.
And they're kind of waiting for us to come by, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes the timing is right with Northern Stage, and we'll pass by there during intermission. And everybody's there and they see it. The first time when Northern Stage moved into the new space, the first play that they did was Our Town. And the intermission happened and our timing was perfect and people came out for intermission, and then here was the Halloween parade passing by, and then the intermission was over and they went back to see their play, and us and our noise were gone.
Yeah,
it was perfect. So then we get down to South Main Street and we take a right, and we'll head down South Main Street, and we go into the parking lot of Elixir and the freight house, and then we use that to make a turnaround, and we come back around and come back up South Main Street, and then we end up at the Briggs Opera House.
That's
where
neat
the ball happens.
Yeah, but that's neat that you cover just about the whole town.
Yeah, we get almost all of downtown.
Wow, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to be a part of that, you know?
Yeah, and it's, people come to the restaurants like they're at the Tip Top restaurant, they're at Elixir, and they book their tables so that they can enjoy the parade.
Absolutely.
And it's a nice kind of, and those are some of our sponsors also, like local businesses support this, and we make it's a big event in town. I mean, it's the biggest crowd you're going to see all year in downtown White River.
Yeah.
And
it's my favorite, actually. It's my favorite event.
Yeah.
I always look forward to it.
And the ball is at the Opera House this year. The ball has changed around. Yeah, the Briggs Opera House.
Yeah.
And that's where we have a dance party. So we've got DJs and a decor. We'll set up a photo op. So this year it's going to be having to do with the crystal ball. So there's a big crystal ball
that's nice.
thing. You can get your picture taken, in this setting. Like I think I mentioned last year was the inaugural ball. So we did a photo op that was the debate stage. And we had the two podiums and the blue background and the American flag, and all of these crazy Halloween people were running for office.
Yeah, that must be
their
fun.
pictures. It was great. That was great.
Well, and I wanted to be able to talk about start time. When does it start at the Main Street Museum first?
The Main Street Museum officially begins at 5. The pre-party begins at 5, but people usually come a little bit later, but we're committed to sort of being there ready to roll at 5. Sometimes we get, if they're having the trunk or treat over at the Hartford, the parking lot of the town hall, then last year they had trunk or treat. We didn't even know that was happening because you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And then we have mobs of children come through at like 5:30.
Yeah, then
after trunk or treat. So the party really got started, and then more people come. So it's 5 at the Main Street Museum, and then the parade is at 8. So we start sort of agitating and lining up for the parade about 7:45.
Yep.
And then the parade, we meander. We're not in a hurry to get through our little town.
That's right. Take time,
we take our time. Sometimes the band stops and takes a break, and we all just stop. And it's a street party, and it's just a roving street party. And then the ball starts at 9.
Yeah, and that goes how late?
I think it goes to midnight.
Oh.
Sometimes, some years we get lucky and the daylight savings.
Somebody told me.
We turn the clocks back, and then we get another hour, and it makes it all a lot easier, especially the next morning.
Yeah, I remember that a day after or something, I saw a big blue feather. I said, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Left on the street.
There should be a little evidence, right? Oh, I forgot. I have some other things I can show you. The butterfly. This is the puppeteers wear these caterpillar costumes.
Oh, is that for the butterflies?
Yeah, this is what the puppeteers wear.
Oh, cool.
And these are, a caterpillar has lots of feet, but I switched it to hands so that all the kids can shake my hand.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. So that goes with the butterfly?
And it's a caterpillar, so it has
look at that.
little antennas like this.
That's cool. Look at that. That's cool. You look adorable. Yes, look at that. Yeah. And you also do a lot of makeup or masks that you wear. Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in people, getting creative and of course, and coming up with costumes that are just out of whatever you've got around. You could put, tie a basket on top of your head and put flowers in it and be, of course, because I'm a puppeteer and a costumer, what I've got laying around.
Everything.
But I want to do that to just like encourage people,
And I think it does. I think it's like the year that I did the teddy bear thing. It was like I was so excited to get out there and show everybody my teddy bears because I'm somebody that loves teddy bears. So I just had this great.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, I did one other thing that I think you'll like. I had a teddy bear wedding. Yeah, I had two of my teddy bears. Well, my teddy bear Jr. was lonely, so we had to get him a wife. And then they got married in the fairy garden. We had a big cake. So see, I use my imagination too. Isn't that cool? I think it's great to be that way. And I think it brings you up, and it's a positive thing. And that's one thing I like about the parade also.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be positive. And talk a little bit about how you started getting into puppeteering and all that.
Well, when I was little, I guess when I was 5 years old is when Sesame Street came on the air. And I just loved Sesame Street, and I loved the puppets. And I was one of those kids that immediately went into like, what are those? Those are puppets. And, oh, I could make puppets myself. Kind of walking the line of like buying that it's a real character, but also wanting to know how it worked. Both sides of my brain. And so I started making puppets when I was really young, and I just kept doing it. And then later on, I realized that the puppets were living in this magical world that I was separated from because I was the puppeteer. And I wanted to be up there in the show with them. I wanted to put myself in there too. And so that really became sort of my artistic path was, it led me into more costuming and into masks where I kind of could turn myself into a puppet.
Yeah.
So I started making masks, and that led me to Mardi Gras. And I've had a mask making business for many years. I do. I've got some here. This is one of my masks.
Look at that. That's so cool. That is.
So there's that one.
Can't tell who you are.
And I brought this one too. A little moonlight in Vermont.
That's really good.
With the clouds.
I'd wear that.
Yeah. The masquerade balls in Venice, in Italy, the 17th century masquerade is really inspiring to me. And then also Mardi Gras, like Mardi Gras is also ancient holiday. It's it comes from pre-Roman times, the tradition, and but Mardi Gras has this amazing combination of European influences and African influences and tribal with the refined Marie Antoinette kind of thing. So that's kind of been my path as a mask maker. And
that's nice.
Yeah.
And I heard a story. Somebody told me something about a big shoe. Big still. I can't even say the word stiletto. Is that right?
Yeah, giant high-heeled
I heard
puppets.
a story about that.
They were made here, and I work with an organization, a parade organization in New Orleans called the Crew of Muses. And it's an all-female crew, which is unusual. Most of the old crews were all men on the floats. And so a group of women got together and created their own crew. And these are the parades in New Orleans where you see the giant floats and all the float riders and the marching bands. It's a big, big thing. And, 500,000 people will watch that parade. And they first had me bring my butterfly puppets, and we became the head of the parade around what's called the captain's float, where the organizers of the crew are on the front float, and the butterflies were there. And then they wanted kind of a mascot puppet that belongs to them. And I came up with this idea of the high heel puppets, because they use a lot of high heel shoes as their throws. The beads that they throw have little high heels, and they get shoes. They collect high heel shoes from thrift stores, and they paint them and decorate them. And those are like specially handed out off the floats, and it's a big thing to get a shoe.
Yeah.
That's one of the prizes of Mardi Gras, is your own muse's shoe. So I took that idea and came up with the idea of making pairs of high heel shoes that could walk in the air, similar to the butterflies. So the shoes are about 6 feet above shoulder height, and they're about 4.5 to 6 feet long each shoe. I don't know what size that is, but that's big.
That is big, yeah.
And they light up too, like the butterflies do. And so the puppeteers can walk with these big shoes, and they've become really a big part of Mardi Gras. Everyone in New Orleans knows the Muse's high heel shoes, and they scream for those shoes. Like, they see the shoes and they just raise their hands and just start screaming, and it's a lot of fun. And they were built here in White River Junction.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Something about you had to take them apart to send them or something.
Oh, well, yeah, like I had to build big shipping crates and have them shipped down there. They didn't fit in my car.
No.
And because there were 6 pair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But what an inspiration you are to bring creativity, not only for you, but for others. My gosh. I mean, you.
And over the years, I've had, well, I find people to be the puppeteer. So now when I do that parade, there's 6 butterflies and 6 pair of high heel shoes. So that's 12 puppeteers, plus handlers, people to, the stage crew. And so many people have had that experience of being a puppeteer in the parade, and it's the closest most of us will get to feeling like a rock star.
Oh, yeah.
It's 4 hours of endless people cheering.
It's so good that you do bring this here to White River with you. I think you spread happiness and joy and fun.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, and I hope people come and enjoy it. And it's a really unique thing. And we have this group. It's not just me. This isn't my event. This is like a little team of us that is committed to making this happen every year. And we're called the Rio Blanco Social Club.
Yes.
And
where'd you come up with that name?
Well, it's a little joke on the Buena Vista Social Club from Cuba. And since we live in White River and people call it Rio Blanco sometimes, so we became the Rio Blanco Social Club. And it's also a kind of a secret society, that just makes it fun. It's like, we don't really know who makes this event happen because it's a masked party, it's a masquerade party, and some of these people are the ones in charge, and we don't know who they are, and it's just fun.
It sounds like, that's great. I've always wanted to actually find that out, who the Rio Blanco Club is, and maybe say, hey, knock, knock, can I come help? I'd love to be a helper, do something. Yeah, we're not as secret as we used to be. Oh, that's good. Especially since some of us are looking for a way out. We've been doing it for many years, so we're looking for new people to sort of take over, making it happen. I'll help. And it's also about a kind of a test on the community, like we wanted to establish this, and we have put a lot of energy into it over the years. And the real test is if the community then takes it on and just assumes that it's going to happen. Like other holidays, you don't really have to promote that Thanksgiving is coming. Mm-hmm. People know. Christmas, we know. And we know about that. And so, we hope that Halloween in White River is established now. The way the trick-or-treating is established in Norwich, like the whole kids trick-or-treating Norwich, that's a very special thing. And this is a compliment. This is a little bit more
adult, or as the evening progresses, it becomes more of an adult event because the dance party is like, you know, there's a bar, there's a dance floor, it's DJs, this is nightlife,
Yeah.
you know. The parade is definitely family friendly.
Yes.
And it's an emphasis on the creative costuming more than on the acquisition of candy.
Right.
You know, the candy is another night.
Yeah.
There's candy around.
Yeah.
Revolution Vintage always has candy, but you know, making a Halloween celebration that is not just about demanding candy from strangers.
Right.
You know,
more fun. I mean,
yeah,
I
it's
just
dancing in the street.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I just want to go over again when, where, and it's when, where, and date.
Yes, Saturday, October 28th, and the pre-party begins at the Main Street Museum at 5, and then the parade is at 8, and then the dance is the Crystal Ball this year is at 9 o'clock.
Sounds so exciting. I can't wait to go. Also, I just wanted to know, we got a few minutes here. Could you give a quick message to maybe some of the audience out there that may be watching you and your story? And, you know, obviously you're inspirational, so I didn't know if maybe you had an inspirational message for everybody.
Oh, inspirational message. Well, I hope you take advantage of this opportunity to be someone else for a night and have a laugh and be silly and get the deep medicine that being silly really has to offer you.
Thank you, Gabriel, so much. Oh, it was wonderful interviewing you. I hope you come back and do another Walking Through Life. Like I said, you're very inspirational. Very.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Well, thank you. Okay, so this is Linda Carver now, and we will say goodbye for Walking Through Life today. Go to the parade. You'll have a ball. Okay, and go to the ball, too. Bye-bye.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.